what, the how, and the why. And this is the document that I mentioned before. I hope you've had a chance to look through that. I think everything you'd ever want to know and more is on there. My goal was to try to put focused content on there, so you're not reading a lot, but put enough that it provides the what, the why, and the how. Two of the things, let me just, if you click on each one of these little pull downs, you'll get what is the Canvas portfolio, what's included in there, why do we use it, how do we develop it, and student expectations. And one of the things I think is very much important to you is that video in the center of the screen is a 4-minute video. It's really a little less than 4 minutes, but it shows you click number 1, click here, number 2, this is what you do. It shows you very clearly what to do. And the next couple here, as you look at exemplar pages, students, some of the students that are in your class right now as they've created their portfolios, I want to put what they actually look like. And so if you click on that link, it'll show you what they wrote. I redacted some of that, so you're not looking at all their personal information, but you get the gist of what you should write. For example, I talked to a person last night that said, I'm not really sure what I should write for a professional aspiration statement. And simply, I just stated that what do you see yourself doing in the next 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years? And by the way, there's a sample that you can kind of get some wording to kind of get the ball started. But gosh, how much should I write about a professional biography? Should I put 300 words? Should I put a few statements? This person did a wonderful job in one paragraph that started to paint a picture of who they were. And the last one is the professional mission, vision, and values. Where do I start? There's lots of content there. In fact, in most of our classes, we've already started talking about the mission, vision, and values and some of those type of things. But you have some content that you can look at and get a jump start on. If you look at the next page, they have that's the front page of the ePortfolio. If you look at the top left-hand corner, you'll see the word home, and on that home page, it provides an introduction. Again, on that introduction, you'll put your name and your email address, and all of that is listed in the summary document that I'll show you in just a moment. It's also on the front page here. And if you put your professional biography, professional aspiration statement, and personal mission, vision, values, for right now at this moment, it's a draft. You're going to continue to develop that, and as you get into your internship, you're going to fine-tune it more and more and more. And as you complete the program and you want to use that for professional use, of course, you're going to fine-tune and clean it up a little bit more and let it grow and advance as your journey continues and your vision becomes clearer. But as you approach the internship, that's when it will be officially evaluated. Right, every course it is unofficially evaluated, and you get a little bit of coaching along the way, and just to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. In the EDU 699 internship class, there will be a formal evaluation of it. In some situations, a student may have a class or two after that, but if you are not finished with your ePortfolio with an EDU 699 internship, you will get an IP in that class until you have it finished. And so as you're moving forward, you don't need to think of all the content being perfect. You are developing it, you're growing it, you're on a journey of both discovery and development, and as you move forward, you're going to fine-tune that. So you have your front page, and the next page, for example, this person was in EDU 676, which is the personnel class, and you'll put two things in there. The essential learning reflection statement, all that is a statement or a paragraph that says, in this personnel class, I believe that I now have the knowledge, the skills to effectively work with faculty and staff at a elementary level or whatever that content is. You'll have an application of learning statement. In that statement, it'll say, this is how I will apply that as an assistant principal or as a principal, or if you aspire to a different position. And the last thing you'll do is you'll put the documents that are stated in this page. If you're in the visionary leadership class, it shows you which documents you'll need to attach. If you're in the school community, if you're in the instructional design, it shows you those items that you will need to attach. So that's just one of those summaries, and I'm going to go back for a second here. Hold on just one second. If we look at this graphic overview of what should it look like when it is finished, and then we'll get to the clicks, and hopefully you can see that. When it's finished, this is just an example that I put together in the ePortfolio. You'll look down the left side, you'll see the word home. You'll also see each one of the classes that you have taken within the program. Now, one of the things that, one of the other items I want to make sure that there's clearly understood. Some of you that are halfway through the program or finishing the program, you may say, geez, do I have to go back into live text and bring everything over? You have an option. Option number one is, as of spring A 2024, everything that all the courses that you've been involved in need to be in the ePortfolio, because everything else was put into live text. What I want to, as plan B, what I want to recommend, it's a very simple process once you get into it. And it's very simple to bring those assignments over. And so I'm going to recommend that you develop a complete portfolio. Although when you step into EDU 699, when your portfolio is developed, they will look at, as of spring A 2024, is all the content current, updated, and of reasonable quality. And so anything before that will be icing on the cake. Again, I want to recommend strongly that you bring everything over, but it is not a requirement. As of spring A 2024, everything should be in those buckets. So if you look on the left side of this document, you'll see that all of those courses are listed. At the very bottom here, it says organized sections, and if you click on that, once we go into the system, I will click on that, it'll say enter the next section. And so if I was starting from the first course that I came into, as you did, in EDU 614 Visionary Leadership, to create that, all you need to do is click on organized sections. It'll say name it, and you'll put EDU 614, put the name of the course, and then you have that page. And you'll do that for all of your courses that you come down here. Or, again, as we talked about Plan A and Plan B, at a minimum, you'll have all the courses from spring A through the end of your program listed on that item. And as you look at the last page, again, it shows in every class what are the 3 or 4 or 5 assignments. And again, it's nothing that you need to create. All you're doing is linking them just like you would linking a document in Canvas. And on each one of the pages, you'll have the essential learnings, applications of learning, and the outcomes are those assignments. And so your page will look something like that. So there are those 2 documents that show exactly what it should look like. One is a completed with all the courses listed. Another one is a fellow student who had created theirs already, and I asked them for permission to show theirs just because I wanted something that a student created. And the other thing that I think is very important after this session, things will hopefully be clear. And if you forget, let's see now, where am I supposed to click? If you click on this video on right here, it'll show you very clearly, this is where you click first, this is where you click second, this is how you add a course, this is how you add documents. And it's a short video, it's probably around 3 minutes overall. And so it's also a nice video because if you start the video and stop the video and go in and click, if you have 2 screens or whatever your technology situation is, you can stop that video, and it will give you a personal tutorial of how to exactly do it. And now we're also going to do that in this session tonight. So I'm going to stop sharing that one, and I'm going to go to our Canvas courses, and you can either follow along with me, or you can take notes along the way, or know that just about everything that we talk about tonight is in that video I showed you in a moment. And I am also recording this, so if you do want to refer back to it, you're welcome to do that. So as you look at the course that you're in, the first thing that you're going to do, if you look to the left hand corner, are you seeing my screen clearly? Give me a thumbs up if you're seeing my screen. Okay. Are you seeing my cursor move? All right. So if you look at the account up in the top left-hand corner, if you click on the account, it's going to have a window that pops open that has notifications, files, settings, and ePortfolio. Your next step, you'll click on ePortfolio. And as you get to ePortfolio, originally you won't have anything in here. As you click on the ePortfolio, it's going to give you some information here, and you're going to go over to the right side and click on create an ePortfolio. As you can see, I've already created a few. The one that I showed you a moment ago, and the other one, a draft that I just kind of played with. So you can go create an ePortfolio, and it's going to ask you to name your portfolio. The easiest way to do that, so we have some consistency, is just do your last name and initials and portfolio. That way we have some consistency. There isn't a requirement exactly how you do that, but you should include your name in there. Again, easiest thing is last name and then possibly initials, or just put in your full name. Also on here, it says make it public. You don't want to make it public. And if you click ePortfolio, it will create what you see in front of you. The next thing is during week 5 in the course that we just had, there was one assignment that said, give me a formative overview of where you are on the process. Many people started to create it, and all they did is, if you look at the center of the screen, you'll see copy and share this link to give others access to your portfolio. So in the future, if I was the superintendent of the Miami schools and I was interviewing you for a top principal's job, all you would do is you'd copy that web link, you would send that to me, and you could, during the interview or a presentation, you could share documents. So when someone says, help me understand what you know about funding schools, you could pull up that content, you could pull up one of the assignments or whatever that scenario may be. So to create I'm going to go back to ePortfolios. And what this is, you can see this bottom one is the one that we just created. I'll click on this top one. And you can see here's home. And you see I put a picture on there. As you look at the instructions that are provided on that document, optional, you can put a professional photo. If you think there's something, say that there's something about your school or a picture of you in the classroom, you don't need to put a picture in there. Graphics do something to stimulate the mind, and so if there's a picture of you in an instructional setting, if there's a picture that you believe makes a positive impression to an employer, please do that. If you aren't feeling it, if you don't believe that that's appropriate, you don't need to add that picture. But what is required is you're going to put your name, and you're going to put your email address, and then your professional bio, your professional aspiration statement, and your mission, vision, and value statement. That'll be on the home page. And all right, so now I'm going to go back out again so you can see it happen again. You're going to click on the account, click on ePortfolios, and the one that I created just a little while ago, my portfolio, or it will say your name on there. And you could create several. If you go in there and play around and one doesn't look quite right, you could delete it, or you could just leave it. You can do anything. It's nothing that you can't mess anything up. And so if you create one and you don't like the way that it's going, you can edit it, or you can just delete it, or just leave it there. And so as you look at getting started, the first thing you're going to do is click on the Getting Started wizard. And once you click on the Getting Started wizard, it will give you instructions at the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to go back to this home. I started to create one for the EDU 676 class, and I put in the essential learnings, application of learning, and these 3 headings. If you look at organized sections on the left-hand side, it will say add in section. So if you are in EDU 675 finance, you can put EDU 675 school finance and add that section. And now you can see we have a brand new section there. You can copy that content, go to that. Oops. I'm done editing. I can go to that section. Just like you would in a edit this page, just like you would work with an assignment. Whoops, let me go back there. And each time when you want to make that, you want to make that public, so you have a new page there, and you can go ahead and set up your pages and copy and paste that content into that new page. So here we go. EDU 675 page. Edit that page. can copy and paste that information just like you did on one of your previous sections. You can save that page. And that's as easy as it is. When you go back to that, if you want to edit that page and you want to upload information just like you would in a regular Canvas class, if you had a assignment that it said in that document, if you put finance assignment or whatever the name of that assignment is, you can go to the image file upload just like you would in a regular class. You could find that document within your files and you can upload that straight to your to that page. On the other hand, if you want to edit that document, you can also go to course submissions, and every assignment that you ever turned in to Canvas is sitting there. And so all you need to do, and unfortunately I don't have any assignments turned into Canvas, but I do have some quizzes that I kind of played with along the way. So I can just grab that assignment, I could select that submission, I could hit save, and that assignment is there. And so the easiest thing for you is, number one, is you can upload it just like you would when you attach an assignment in Canvas, or you can grab that assignment from all the assignments that you've ever posted. So any assignment that you posted is out there, and all you have to do is go click, 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 those 3 clicks, and you're finished. All right, I'm going to close my mouth just for a moment, and I'm going to go back to the ePortfolio and to the Randall Peterson ePortfolio home and start to answer some questions for you. What did I just show you that made sense? Is it clear? Or is there some things that I can show you right now that would be beneficial to jumpstart your process? How can I be helpful tonight?
Could you possibly go back to the page that you just made and insert like a random assignment there so I could just see how it would populate and it's supposed to look?
All right, so if I go back here and go to ePortfolio, you'll see all the ones that I created. And so if we go to home, oops, I'm going to go back to a different one. Hold on just a second. I'm going to go back to that one that I'm halfway done with. Oops, sorry. Let's go back here, ePortfolio. Let's see, we'll go to that one. So if we go to, this is the page that I just created a moment ago. And so if we want to add a submission, you can do it 2 different ways. If you click on, okay, the first thing that you did, you already typed in your essential learning paragraph statement, your application of learning. All you need to do then is go to edit page. And you can do 2 things. One is you can upload a file just like you would in a Canvas. So if you typed in what that assignment is, and you said image upload, image or file upload, and then you can search and choose a file. I can go to my computer and I'm just going to stick a random file there. This is actually the teaching schedule for summer. And I'll select that and upload that file. And I'll save. And now you can see that the assignment that I just uploaded is now sitting at the bottom there. Now, the other way that you could do it, if you go edit this page and you want to go to course submission, and again, like I said before, if there's any assignment that you submitted, all you need to do is click on course submission and all those assignments would be listed over here on the left side. And you could just go ahead and choose the appropriate assignments and they would be posted in that session.
So do we have to type in the assignment name for every time we're uploading something to that page?
No, the assignment name, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that on the bottom there. When you upload it, it'll be just like when you upload into Canvas. It will say the name Say that this was the case study finance in the finance class. Whatever you named it, and most people do name it something appropriate so they can find it. So it'll say case study finance EDU 675 or whatever you named it, and that'll be just that'll be just sitting right there. You can put a listing like I put on there, finance assignment. You can type those in, or you could just click on the bottom. I'm going to go back. I'm going to share. When I go back here, I'm going to show you the individual exemplar. This is the one that the student created, and make this a little bit bigger. As you look at the bottom, this student chose to just upload those assignments, and hopefully you can see that on the screen. Induction and retention paper, plan for developing emergent leaders, principal interview, learning platform. You can see that just has the names that you named them in your computer, and those will be posted right there. And as long as they mean something to you and they align with those assignments that are listed, for example, this is for course 676. And if you go down to, let me make this a little bit smaller. If you go down to course 676, you'll see these 4 assignments need to be posted. And if you go back up here, you'll see that here are those 4 assignments posted right there. The easiest thing to do is to click on submit from your the assignments that are already posted, and that makes it very, very simple. Or you can do it just like you do when you turn in an assignment for this person over here. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. This is 2 different people. This person posted them in a different way. And so you could post them in 2 ways. One, you can attach it just like you would an assignment in Canvas, or you can upload it from the assignments that you have already posted in the gradebook. And so anytime you click on edit, I'm going to go back to that screen. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller here. There we go. So when you go to edit, once you've created your page, this is page 675. If you go to edit, on the right side of the page, you'll have course submission or file upload. And you can make a choice, whatever one feels better to you. It doesn't really matter. As long as those documents are connected, you could do it either way. The course submission will choose it from assignments that you have already posted within Canvas. And the other one is image upload. You can click on that one and it'll take you to your, just like again, when you post assignment in Canvas, you'll go to your computer and you'll choose that file. Whatever way is easier for you. And I would try to make sure it's a consistent way, so whoever the reader is has a consistent way to see where those documents are. So you can choose image file upload or course submission. As you type that information in there, you can click on the rich text content, and that's what brings you to create the, just like you'd be typing in an assignment in Canvas. And so when you go in, one of the things I would recommend, go in and play. I talked to some folks last night. They said, I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up. You can't mess something up. And if you do mess it up, let me tell you, when I first started, I messed up my first 2. I just hit delete, delete. I was a little bit afraid to delete because I wasn't sure what I was going to delete, but know that you can't mess it up. And so you could go ahead and create one, play with it, and get a feel for all those pieces. You could have the video going in the background that points you in that direction. I will also post this video on this website right here. That again this is the web tool that's connected within the class. And if you go to ePortfolio, after this session, when the recording that we're just putting together is finished, I'll attach that also underneath this content. Okay, what other questions do you have right now? I want to be cautious not to bury you with information. I want to be cautious to more appropriately just answer questions for you and kind of go from there.
I have a question about the summary you just went over. So that's for each class we take, or is it for each assignment?
Each class that you take.
Okay.
So for each course that you take, now the front page, the home page, I'm going to go back to if you go to the home page, I'm going to go back to the one I created. Hold on just one second. Bear with me as I, here we go. Oops. So we'll go to ePortfolio, go to the one I originally created. You're going to create one homepage. You're going to name it homepage, and that homepage will have that original content in it, and then you're done. Until you need to.
Not this page, not this. I'm talking about the one you were just on. It says something about application of learning.
Yep.
So that's.
So each course that you have, again, starting spring A 2024, again, I would recommend that you have all your class courses in there, but at a minimum, starting spring A 2024, if you had educational decision making, you'll have that in there. With the educational decision making on that page, you're going to have and you can cut and paste that content in there that says, the essential learnings, reflective statement, the application of learning, the outcomes, and then from there you're going to go to edit page, and you're just going to place those 3 or 4 assignments on that page, and you're done.
So where do you get that from? Did you type this already? The essentials, learning, reflective statement, and the artifacts. Where do you see that at?
Well, what I did is I did it one time in my first course, and then I just copied it and pasted it in each one. But if you go to the center of that screen we talked about before, you can see the graphic, what it should look like. Here it says this is what your home page should look like. It should include these 3 statements. And on your course page, you should have these 3 statements. And I just put in there as a reminder, you can cut and paste or type that content in, whatever way is easier for you. But you'll have 3 headings on the course page, and you'll have 3 headings on that single home page.
Okay.
And for right now, you're not going to receive a grade that says, like if you are in educational decision making right now, and you had a 1-sentence statement under the essential learnings, which you learned just for right now through the end of the class, you're not going to get an A, B, or C. You're going to get a complete or incomplete. And so know that we expect it to set the foundation as you're going through the program, and hopefully make it enhance the quality, substance, and depth along the way.
Okay,
and once you get to your EDU 699 class, that professor will expect that when they click on your portfolio, they see a fairly complete portfolio. They'll make some comments that says, Pamela, you have one sentence there that probably doesn't sell you as well to an employer. And Pamela may say, I don't plan on sharing this with an employer. And they'll say, well, Pamela, if you did, take advantage of this opportunity, because when it says, what did I learn in this program, or what are your aspirations, that's going to be something you need to develop, because that will be a question in your interview. So that's a little game that you'll play back and forth. But for right now, the most important thing is just put the basic content in, put those assignments in, and you're done for right now. And then as you move towards your internship, and as time allows, you're going to redevelop and grow that and become more familiar with the process, because once you get into it and start clicking and it'll start to format the way that you saw the examples, and all of a sudden it's going to be one of those things that takes 3 minutes instead of, I talked to somebody the other day, they said, I've been doing this for 3 hours, it's driving me crazy. I got to put my kids to bed and I got to finish my homework. Well, 3 hours, that's a little bit much. But once you get into it, you're going to find that to create each page, just the foundation, is probably a 2 or 3 minute thing. To enhance the quality, to support you in your candidacy as you move forward, that's a different story. Other questions?
And I clicked off the page, but each statement is geared towards that course, correct?
But every statement is exactly the same. And so if you look at, I'm going to go back to the actual portfolio that I had put together. So what I did when I put together this portfolio that you're seeing is I created my home statement, And the 3 items right here is the professional biography, the aspiration statement, mission, vision, values. And then I went to that first course and I just copied and pasted these 3 statements and created the course, paste, created the course, paste, created the course, paste. And once you paste that in there, then you can go back when you need to and put in, what is a good way to look at, what did I learn in the research class? What did I learn in the finance class? What is a statement or 2 that reminds you of whatever you learned in that class, how it will support your professional journey and support you in your job. Because what I would recommend if you're going into an interview and you don't feel like sharing this, I would use this to prompt your understanding, because more than likely in an interview someone's going to ask you that question. Have you been involved in the finance process? And most people say, well, I haven't managed a finance budget, but let me tell you what I know about school finance. I've had an opportunity to create a budget in the school finance class. I've had a chance to interview individuals who run that program, and let me tell you what I know about. And so you'll be able to have some answers. When I interviewed assistant principals first time, very often, if I said, if you are in charge of an area of finance within the school, how proficient do you believe you'll be? Almost 100% of the people said, I've never done this before. I don't quite know what I'm doing. Not a good answer. Even if it's true, the best thing to do is say, I haven't had a chance to do it as an employee, but let me tell you what I have done. You could bring some of that content. You can summarize that content. You can look back on the essential learnings, the application statements that you put together, and you have a jump start into how you're going to engage in that discussion. You don't want to be that person who walks into an interview and said, I've never done that before and I haven't thought much about it. That's not a good way to answer that question. Other questions about the portfolio itself?
Are you able to look to see if, I don't mind if you can see mine to tell me if I'm on the right track?
If you don't mind me pulling your direct file up.
No, I don't mind.
On the screen, let me go back to this. And are you in the finance or the decision making? I can't recall off the top of my head. What class are you in right now? With me, what class are you in? Open up your mic.
I'm with you. I think visionary.
Okay, 6. Let me get to grades. I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment.